ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా, ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా, start the day with the love, fill the day with the love, spend the day with the love, end the day with the love. This is the way to God. ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా,
క్షణం ఒకే ఒక కోరిక, అనుదినం నీవు ఉండాలని మా తోడుగా. క్షణం ఒకే ఒక కోరిక, అనుదినం నీవు ఉండాలని మా తోడుగా. ఓ సాయి, ఒక కోరిక. ఏ నాటికైనా ఆగునా మా మనసులోని భావన. ఏ నాటికైనా ఆగునా మా మనసులోని భావన. మా గుండె సవ్వడి నీవేగా, ఈ బంధమే అందెనే ఓ వరముగా. అనురాగమే కురిసిరి చిరుజల్లుగా, మా ఆశవు మా శ్వాసవు మా గమ్యము నీవే, మా యుగము మా భాగ్యము మా ధ్యానము నీవే. నీ చావు ఎన్నెన్నో జన్మలు నీ కోసమై నీ మాటకై పొందేను ఆనందమే ఈనాటికి ఓ సాయి మా. కానీ ఒక కోరిక, అనుదినం నీవు ఉండాలని మా తోడుగా. ఓ సాయి, క్షణం ఒకే ఒక కోరిక, అనుదినం నీవు ఉండాలని మా తోడుగా. वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Om Shri Sai Ram. Dear brothers and sisters of the Sai family in Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and globally, offering my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Welcome to our fourth online ladies devotional offering. Let us begin by acknowledging the First Nations people of Australia upon whose land we meet. We pay our respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. We also acknowledge the traditional elders in New Zealand and Fiji. With us here this evening, we have Sister Neeta Khanna, connecting all the way from Shimla, Himachal Pradesh. Our guest speaker, Sister Neeta's topic this evening is following the footsteps of my master. At present, Sister Neeta is the head of the department at the Teachers Training Department in St. Bede's College, Shimla, a prestigious college run by the Catholic sisters in North India. Sister's entire grooming in the Sathya Sai organization was done by Bhagavan himself as she commenced her journey with Swami's mission as the state Seva Dal in charge, then as the state Bala Vikas in charge, and now as the national spiritual coordinator, thus gracefully serving in all the three wings in his blessings. Under Bhagavan's command, Sister also completed a PhD in Sri Sathya Sai system of education in human values and was blessed to be an inspiring advocate and resource person in spreading the message of Sri Sathya Sai system of education in human values in India. Please join me in welcoming Sister Neeta Khanna.
Om Shri Sai Ram. My most humble pranams at the lotus feet of my beloved Lord, and Sai Ram to all my sisters from Australia. Today, I take this opportunity to thank each one of you for allowing me to share my experiences and to relive my memories with my master, which I'm sure each one of you treasure in your own way. To give you a brief about my upbringing, I was brought up in the eastern part of India. I studied in a school run by the Irish Catholic sisters. My father was in the coal mines in a British firm, and hence our ways, our mannerisms, and our bringing up was totally English. However, my parents were strict disciplinarians and they saw to it that we were rooted in our Indian culture. And this really helped me in a big way to follow the footsteps of my divine master. In 1970, when I was barely 16 years old, I saw myself in the extreme north of India, the Himalayas, in a state called Himachal Pradesh, in a beautiful hill station, Shimla. But then many posed a question to me, and rightfully so, as to how was I uprooted from my hometown to come to the extreme north for my job, for my studies, and my entry into the Sai fold. To them I say, it was my master's, my Sadguru's divine plan. And so I came and stayed to be a part of his divine mission. And then my life went on. And Swami told me that you make too many plans. Dear sisters, remember that he has already planned our lives. And so I learned. From then on, my journey has been like traveling in a train. I passed through many dark tunnels in relation to my job, my family, and the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization. But I was assured of one thing, and that was there was a light at the end of every journey. And that light for me has emerged as Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. In 1975 was my first trip to Prashanti Nilayam, and it was the best sentimental gift that I had ever received. I was just 20 years old, and I was given a job in the same college that I had studied. And barely 3 months had passed when I was told to go for a meeting to Bangalore. In 1973, I had read Bhagwan's book, and I took this as a divine call. And to make my story short, I rushed to Prashanti Nilayam after the meeting, only to be told that Bhagwan does not entertain a lady alone, and if I was very lucky, would take my letter. But then Swami had his plan otherwise, and he arranged things so beautifully that I was ushered inside the interview room with a group of Americans. And the first question that he posed to me was, what is the road to immortality? I was blank. And then he said, morality. Now, what is the impact of morality in our lives? It calls for commitment, for detachment, sacrifice, and continually living and following the footsteps of the Lord. And the next question was to everybody, what is marriage? And then he said, 2 legs, 4 legs, 6 and 8. Kya Paryojan? meaning to say, what is the use? And he looked into my eyes, and that gave me a strength to speak. And just as I was going to open my mouth, he said, I know everything about you. And he raised both his hands and said, you have all my blessings and grace. And sisters, that energized me so much that immediately I took two decisions, and that was to stay single for the cause of Bhagwan's mission, and second, to turn into pure vegetarian. And since then, his grace has been so immense that he has seen me through the decisions that I have made. I think after just about 2 or 3 months, it was not many months, when all of a sudden, when I returned from Puttaparthi, there was so much of hullabaloo and so much of joy that Swami was coming to Shimla. And I was, like I had just been to Puttaparthi and Swami again coming to Shimla. I was very, very happy, but yet at the same time, there was a low feeling in me. And that was because I had not joined the Sathya Seva organization. And so where do I stand? I would not be near Swami. But then lo and behold, what do I see? That I have a scarf around me, because there were millions and millions of people really who had come for Swami's darshan, and they had no sevadals. So I was given the opportunity to do seva and to give water to everybody and to sweep the floor. So I was so happy. And before Swami left, he called all the sevadals and to give us Pad Namaskar. And there was a lady sitting beside me with a scarf. And he looked at her sternly and he said, "Hey, jhootha sevadal," meaning to say that you have worn a scarf, but you've done no seva. Really, sisters, that was the first glimpse of his divinity. I came to know that we cannot fool him and that he knows everything. And he is a strict disciplinarian. 1976 again, I had joined the organization, and with a group of ladies, there I was going to Puttaparthi once again. Swami called us, and I took the opportunity to ask him, Bhagwan, can I join Sevadal? He said, Zarur join karo, Shimla needs you. And then I was made the state Sevadal coordinator. Sisters, I was so enthused with the words of Bhagwan that I made 2 timetables for myself. One for the college, academic studies, and one I made for the Seva. Hail, rain or snow, I would climb the mountains, walk through, go to the villages, hospitals, ashrams. They were just 2 or 3 ladies, but later on, many joined me. And then every winter, we had holidays for 2 months, and the Shimla group, we would go to Swami and take charge of the canteen. We would just not do his darshan, but after darshan, we would rush to the canteen, wash dishes, cut vegetables, roll chapatis, and all this, the Lord graciously rewarded us with interviews, and this continued for nearly about 20 to 25 years, every year, with precious gems of wisdom. He told us, when you come to me, don't bring your family matters. Don't come and say, my husband is sick. He has not got a job. This has happened, that has happened. No, don't waste your time. Talk about spirituality, because remember, when you come to me, I have to take care of your family. And rightfully so. How many times Bhagwan confirmed that when we were with him, he really solved all our problems at home. Secondly, the things that I remember was clearly, be like a fish, he said. Don't be selfish. The fish, when it swims through the water, cleans the water. But when human beings go in the society, they go on polluting it with negativity. Serve the society. Do away with your bad habits. And then for bad habits, he said, see, if a snake you find in your hand, what will you do? You won't pamper it. But you are going to throw away the snake like a hammer stroke. You should do away with your bad habits. Do or die, Swami says. Don't try, for try will make you dry. And so, like this, he went on telling us so many things. And the main thing which was always there in the interview room was character. He would always say that, remember that you are in a society, people are looking at you, and therefore your character is very important. I remember when I joined Seva Dal, he told me, do you talk to boys? I said, Swami, I do talk to boys, but when it is the work in the organization, and lovingly he said, don't talk to them. And I realize now that I was just barely about 20 or 22 when he said that. Our minds might be clear, but we do not know what goes on in the minds of others. And hence, he very often saved me from many things. And then I got the opportunity to attend 3 summer courses. And that was so important for me because that really helped me and gave me the knowledge of spirituality which I really needed. And at that time, in 1977, 78, and 79, the 3 summer courses were for 1 month, and where Bhagwan himself would come and teach us. And we had stalwarts like N. Kasturi, Bhagwantam, General Mahadevan, Indulal Shah. And I remember the 79 was very, very important for me because Bhagwan had called us for the National Seva Dal camp. And here he himself would come and teach us how to meditate, to do japam, and the essential things about Seva. And then we asked him, Bhagwan, like one of the gents did ask him, Swami, is it that when we join the Satsang organization, can we join some other organizations too, like the Lions Club and the Rotary Club? And Swami said, remember, your heart is not, don't make your heart a sofa cum bed. You cannot serve 2 masters. Ours is a spiritual organization. It is not an NGO. Here we have no mixing. All our activities of gents and ladies are separate. There is no election, there is selection. And we never, ever try to take money from people. And it is not a come to tea meeting. He made it very, very clear. And that was a great lesson for all of us. And then afterwards, he told us that now you join the summer course. That was a bonus thing for us. And he said, no loading and unloading. Go and attend the theory classes with my students in the morning. And I've changed the timetable. In the afternoon, you will go to the villages with my students and show them all the Seva activities and the teachings that I have done with you. And I will myself come and grace you every afternoon. And lo and behold, true enough to his words, every afternoon he would come to the villages to see how we were helping out the students to do Seva. And that was really the beginning of, or I would say, the root of the village integrated program. And then after being suffused with spiritual knowledge, I got very much inclined towards Bal Vikas, and I was made the state Bal Vikas education coordinator. From 1980 to 1986, I was also made the trust member appointed by Swami himself for education in human values. And luckily for the Himachal Pradesh, the government of Himachal Pradesh accepted the Sathya Education and Human Values program, and I saw myself taking about 200 to 300 government school teachers to Prashanti Nilayam. And I also started making value-oriented lesson plans for them because I was teaching in the teachers training department in my college. And that really helped me in the long run. And that was the beginning of, I would say, the Vidya Jyoti program, which we have started now in India. Then, sisters, in 2005, I was called to Anantapur campus for a training program for their teachers. And there, after the training program, we were lucky because Bhagwan called us to Puttaparthi from Anantapur, and he gave us an interview. And I immediately asked Swami, Bhagwan, please come to Shimla. And lovingly he said, Swami, Shimla zarur aata. Khush, are you happy? And true to his words, in 2010, when he was not even well, he came to Shimla. And in 2007, sisters, 22nd April, he wrote a beautiful letter to the devotees of Shimla, which sends a tremendous message to each one of us. Because for nearly 15 years, we had been going, the devotees of Shimla, to his abode Anand Vilas. And every stone that we picked up went to make his temple. And no laborers were hired for this purpose. This pleased Bhagwan so much that he wrote a letter to us, which I'm going to read to you. And every word has so much of meaning, and it really sends a message as to how we can follow his footsteps and win Swami's heart. He writes, I saw the photograph of the Mandir for Swami, the school building, the hostel building, and the auditorium. All these have been possible because you have all worked in a spirit of unity and with great sincerity. Your dedication and devotion has touched my heart. Be sure that my grace will be upon you all in full measure. I shall always be with you, in you, and around you whenever you do my work. With sincerity and love, I shall manifest myself there. Here I would like to tell you, the moment the building was finished and we were going to have our first Narayan Seva, that day, all the entire wall of that building was full of vibhuti and sindhur, and there was written Ram, Ram, Ram. From this academic year, says Swami, I shall myself come soon to Shimla when I visit Delhi, and I will confer Ananda on you all. You have all made Swami happy by taking up this noble task of building a mandir and a school aimed at providing good education to young children. Continue your seva activities, and then you will feel my presence. What a tremendous message, sisters, which unfolds in this letter, that if we work with unity, devotion, dedication, and sincerity, we will really please the Lord. Keeping to his promise, as I told you, he did come to Anand Vilas. He saw our programs, again invited us in 2010, that very year. He invited the children of Shimla to Puttaparthi. That is the 10th month. The 10th date was there. And 2010, he saw a cultural program. And that was the last cultural program he ever saw in India. Because after that, Swami left us. And I would just like to finish with a small incident that happened in my college. One day I was sitting with my principal, and some professor came inside. And just as she entered, she told the principal, "Sister, you know, Neeta is a Sai Baba devotee." And sister immediately looked and she tried to say it with a bit of a sarcasm. And sister said, "I know that I really don't know whether she's a Sai Baba devotee or not, but I know Neeta is good, so Sai Baba must be good." That day, really, I felt fulfilled. How many times Bhagwan has said that you have been coming to me for so many years. By now, all of you should become Sai Babas. We value our master, isn't it? We all value our master. But how much do we master his values? That is very important. So today, being the 19th, Ladies' Day, let us all come together with love and compassion in our hearts and with example and precept. Let us all empower ourselves so much that we become torchbearers to carry his mission forward. Thank you so much. I pray for your good health and that you always remain happy and happy. Thank you very much. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, everyone. On behalf of all the Sai devotees from Australia, I would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere appreciation to Sister Neeta for an inspiring session this evening. We are truly grateful for the time and effort you have taken to join us and share your thoughts and lovely experiences. Thank you and Jai Sai Ram.
Waiting for 35 years since the last visit, Shimla prepared to receive its Lord again on the 15th of April, 2010.
Brahmanda Nayaka Baba Partipurishwar Baba.
It was a moment for which Anand Vilas had waited 2 years since its completion in 2008.
Brahmanda Nayaka Baba Partipurishwar Baba. साई के दरबार में साई के दरबार में साई के दरबार
इंसान में ईश्वर को देखता है और बड़ा आदमी ईश्वर में भी इंसान को देखने की भूल करता है। महानता तो अच्छे आदमी के चरण चूमती है।
Vidyasagar and the mother did very good. Swami is very happy.
सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत्सर्वतोक्षि शिरोमुखम् सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके तत्सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति. My hands and feet are everywhere. My eyes, head and face are everywhere. My ears are everywhere. I encompass all creation.
Pani sari ni sa pani ma pari ma sari ni sa di ni ra. Pani sari ni sa pani ma pari ma sari ni sa di ni ra. Sathya Sai prema avadari. Pani sari ni sa pani ma pari ma sari ni sa di ni ra. Sathya Sai prema avadari. जय जय जननी साई जननी अम्बे भवानी माँ। रघुवीरा रामचन्द्र रणधीरा रामचन्द्र रघुवीरा
After that, Swami said, "You are full of body consciousness." Then I told him, "Swami, how to get our body consciousness?" Then Swami suddenly looked at me and said, "Are you really serious about it?" Then I said, "Yes, Swami." The interview got over. So we all came out. After that, after a few years, I got my foot injured because I put it on the live wire. So immediately I myself put little crepe bed in the local treatment, and then got ready, and then I continued to work in the hospital. I couldn't continue to do the work because my leg problem became more and more. So then I actually asked Swami, actually shall I go home and then come back, because Swami was supposed to go to Vrindavan. So Swami gave permission. I went back to Mysore. When I came back, I wanted to join duty immediately. Then superintendent of the hospital said, no, Swami is expected in another 2-3 days. So you wait till then. Then I waited. Then he wanted me to take permission from Bhagwan. So then I sent word to the superintendent to Swami. Swami said, don't join duty just now. You wait and I will tell later. Okay. And it went on waiting for another 6 months. Nothing happened. And in the month of December 1999, before Christmas festival, I fell sick. I had very high fever. So my elder sister was called. And then she came, and meanwhile my colleagues sent word to Swami through Dr. Algeria. So Swami sent Vibhuti Prasadam. So she applied the same Vibhuti Prasadam, and within 24 hours my temperature settled, and then everything fine like. Okay, I ate and then I slept. And the sleep, actually I got electric shock like pain in my right leg. So I screamed, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. So my sister got worried. What happened suddenly? So then immediately my brother also came from Mysore, and then he also saw everything. After the night, next morning, so he went for Swami's darshan. In the veranda, Swami came and asked him, and what's the matter? And then he explained, the Swami, Shanta is not well and she is in the bed. Swami said, I know everything, and body needs rest. Let her be in bed for some time. And they took me to hospital. Actually, it was on the 29th December. So then I opened my eyes, I was in ICU, and very comfortable, no pain, it's okay. Meanwhile, they had already investigated me, drawing the blood and the x-rays, everything. And then their cardiologist, Dr. Iyer, told me, Madam, everything normal, madam, so nothing to worry. Okay. After some time, he said, Madam, one thing left over is echocardiogram. Shall I do it? I said, okay, go ahead. So when they did the echocardiogram, there was the blood clot in my heart. That's the right atrium. So everybody worried. So what to do now? The clot. Meanwhile, Swami in the veranda, standing in front of anesthetist Dr. Pavan, Swami said, clot in the heart. Everybody worried. Then he said, Swami, whom? Then he said, that lady doctor. So he immediately rushed to hospital. He told Swami, was telling like this. Then Swami said, you do whatever the necessary to be done according to the medical thing. Okay. They started to give the injection, whatever thing they planned. So meanwhile, actually after some time, Dr. Ugo Sandri, Italian cardiologist, came and he did one more echocardiogram. Then he said, Arre, clot is not there and it has disappeared. So for our surprise, maybe it is Swami's work, a miracle. So okay, he said, and then everybody relaxed. So everybody went away. That was on 30th night, I became breathless once again. So they had to resuscitate. So 31st morning, and at about 8:30, Dr. Yuga Sandri, after darshan, he came to hospital. First thing he came, put his stethoscope on my chest, and he actually shouted, oh, cardiac arrest, cardiac arrest. Once again, the whole team of cardiologists rushed in, and then they want to resuscitate me. So they tried all the means and best of capacity, and they couldn't revive me. After some time, they said, no, she died. You can inform your relatives and then people who those want to come. After some time, we'll give the body. When I left the body, I had some experience. So suddenly, I left the body and went to a vast, bright light, the flooding light. And there was no limit for that. And no body, actually. Their mind was working, I don't know, I'm not aware what it is, only feeling. So I thought it's very serene, very cool, very light and very peaceful. That may be a blissful state. And I was very happy in that mode. I don't know after what some time. And then from there, I started coming down. So Dr. Sathya went to Swami and then he told, Swami, she's gone, Swami. With all the efforts, we couldn't revive her. Swami made gestures with the hand like this. I was from the up looking at the body. And they are try to revive me by doing the cardiac massage. They are beating my lungs. And with all this, then I was looking, for me it was like tamasha. And I went on looking at all these things they are doing, and I thought in myself, no, all these things are of no use. Like, Jankiramaya Garu went inside, Swami's brother. He also told the same thing. Swami, she has died, Swami, with all the effort of the doctors, and they couldn't revive her. Then Swami suddenly looked at him and he said, now I will take over. So then Jankiramaya Guru came out and suddenly he rushed to the hospital. He wanted to convince doctors that don't do anything to the body, that she will be alive. And the meanwhile, I was looking at my body. I suddenly entered into the body. And then I opened my eyes, looking around like this. So suddenly, cardiologist looked at me, Are, she has opened her eyes. What's happening? Bring her brother here. And so brother came. Yeah. He was also surprised. And then he looked at me. I said, I am all right. So they all said, what's happening actually? And suddenly she opened her eyes. On January 1st, my relations had come. Then they all got a good news that I was alive. On January 1st, one of my friends from Vrindavanam, and she came. She was an active worker, Seva girl. And then she was very emotional. And when Swami came to give her pradnamaskar, she said, Swami Shanta, like this. Swami said, Yemi, Jeevadanam chesna. Swami said, Jeevadana Madiddini in Kannada, he said. Then he materialized Vibhuti and gave it to her and said, give her. So some of the students, those who were working in the department, Swami used to ask often when I was in that condition, how is that lay doctor, how is that? They used to tell Swami, no hopes, Swami. Swami said, what no hopes? And said, all the organs have been decayed. I only set it all right and she will be all right. So like that, Swami started inquiring each and everybody and telling that he gave me the life.
సర్వశక్తులు కూడా స్థాయిలో హస్తగతమైపోయినటువంటివి. కానీ దురదృష్టవశాత్తు అనేక మంది విద్యావంతులు అనేక మంది ఇంకా ఉత్తమమైనటువంటి యొక్క స్థితిని అందుకున్నటువంటి వారు, అనేక మంది యోగులు, జ్ఞానులు, సత్పురుషులు అని చెప్పేటువంటి వారు, పండితులు, మహోత్తమ పండితులు, ఇంకా పండితులు, ఇంకా పండితులు, ఇంకా చేత్తాడు పొడవు పేర్లు పెట్టుకున్నటువంటి పండితులు కూడాను కేవలము పైన చూచేటువంటి యొక్క ఈ మెరికల్స్ అని తుచ్చమైనటువంటి ఈ మెరికల్స్ పైనే వాళ్ళ దృష్టిని ఏకాగ్రత పరుస్తున్నారు. కానీ సత్యమైనటువంటి యొక్క హృదయాన్ని గుర్తించేటువంటి ప్రాప్తులు వాళ్ళలో లేవు. కనుక దైవత్వాన్ని గుర్తించుకోవటము ఎట్టి వారికి కూడాను సాధ్యం కానటువంటిది.
Swami Sathya Sai Hare Bhakta Jana Samrakshaka Bhakta Jana Samrakshaka Hari Maheshwara Om Jai Jagadish Hare Shashivadana Shri Kara सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः